The calendar mocked me with its bright red circle around my 25th birthday, a milestone I'd been anticipating for months. As a junior marketing executive at Thomson & Wells, I'd been working relentlessly, pulling 60-hour weeks, and sacrificing personal time to prove my worth. My entire life had been a carefully constructed path of ambition, each achievement meticulously planned. But families have a way of shattering even the most carefully built dreams. "We've decided to do something different this year," my mother said during our weekly Sunday dinner, her voice unnervingly cheerful. My father sat beside her, nodding with that practiced look of parental solidarity that I'd learned to despise. I knew something was wrong the moment those words left her lips. "Remember the birthday celebration we discussed?" she continued. "Well, we've made a decision about your gift money." Her hands were folded neatly in her lap, a gesture that always preceded something monumentally unfair. My sister Emma, perfect golden child Emma, sat quietly, a knowing smirk playing at the corners of her mouth. At 22, she'd mastered the art of looking innocent while orchestrating family dynamics like a puppet master. "We're using your birthday fund to support Emma's study abroad program in Paris," my father announced, his tone suggesting this was the most reasonable decision in the world. The words hit me like a physical blow. My carefully saved birthday money, the funds I'd expected would help me upgrade my work laptop, perhaps invest in some professional development courses, was being casually reassigned to fund my sister's European adventure. "But I've been planning," I started, my voice catching. "You understand, don't you?" my mother interrupted. "Emma's opportunity is once in a lifetime. Your work is stable. You can always save more. Always save more. Always wait. Always sacrifice." The narrative of my life had been written long ago. Alex, the responsible one, the one who supports, the one who waits. Emma, meanwhile, floated through life on a cloud of familial adoration, her every whim not just supported but celebrated. I looked at Emma. She wouldn't meet my eyes, but that subtle curl of her lip told me everything. This wasn't just about a study abroad program. This was another calculated move in our family's unspoken hierarchy. My mind raced. 25 years of being the reliable child, 25 years of watching my sister receive everything while I constructed my life brick by painstaking brick. 25 years of being told my dreams were secondary. Something inside me shifted that moment. A quiet, dangerous resolve began to take root. If they thought they could continue to marginalize me, they were monumentally mistaken. My phone buzzed. A message from my work assistant, Maria. "Boss, we need to talk about the Thomson account." I looked up, meeting my parents' expectant gazes. They waited for my typical acquiescence, my standard response of understanding and support. But this time, something was different. This time, I had a plan. The next morning, I arrived at Thomson & Wells with a crystalline clarity I'd never experienced before. My cubicle, usually a testament to professional restraint, now felt like a war room. Every piece of my professional life would become a weapon. Maria noticed something different the moment I walked in. "Everything okay, Alex?" she asked, her keen eyes scanning my face. "Better than okay," I responded, my voice steady. "We're going to do something extraordinary with the Thomson account." For years, I'd been the reliable middle manager, competent but never spectacular. My family's constant undermining had translated into a professional persona that was safe, predictable, but no more. I pulled out the Thomson file, a marketing contract we'd been managing conservatively. Our current strategy was solid but uninspired, much like how I'd been living my entire life. I began reconstructing the entire approach, identifying risks my previous self would have never dared to challenge. By midday, I had a radical new proposal. It wasn't just different, it was revolutionary. The campaign would position Thompson and Wells as industry disruptors, not just another marketing firm. Every strategy was calculated, every move precise. During the afternoon strategy meeting, I presented my plan. My colleagues listened, initially skeptical. But as I walked them through each meticulously crafted detail, skepticism transformed into genuine excitement. "This is brilliant," whispered Robert, our senior partner, his eyes wide with understanding. In that moment, I realized revenge wasn't about destruction, it was about transformation, about proving your worth not through anger, but through undeniable excellence. My phone buzzed, a text from my mother. "Hope you're not upset about the birthday money. Emma's dreams are important." I didn't respond. Instead, I turned to Maria. "I need you to help me with something," I said, outlining the first phase of a plan that would reshape not just my professional life, but my entire existence. My family had always seen me as the background character, reliable, predictable, always supporting others' dreams. They believed they could casually redirect my resources, my moments of celebration, without consequence. They were wrong. This wasn't just about a canceled birthday or redirected funds. This was about reclaiming my narrative, proving my worth on my own terms. Every professional achievement would be a statement. Every success, a quiet rebellion. The war had just begun, and I was ready. Strategic revenge required more than just professional success. I needed a multifaceted approach that would penetrate every aspect of my family's carefully constructed narrative. Maria became my confidant and strategic partner. "We're going to do more than just win," I explained during our late-night strategy session. "We're going to redefine winning." Our first move targeted the Thompson account, but with surgical precision. I leveraged every connection, every ounce of professional capital I'd accumulated over the years. My proposal wasn't just a marketing strategy, it was a masterpiece of corporate reimagining. The night before the final presentation, I worked relentlessly. Old photos of family gatherings scattered around my home office, each one a reminder of the countless times I'd been overlooked. My sister Emma, always the golden child, smiling in photos from trips I could never afford, opportunities I was never given. I called in favors from industry contacts I'd cultivated over years of quiet, persistent networking. Sebastian from digital marketing, Rachel from brand development, Marcus from strategic communications. Each owed me a professional courtesy, and I was calling in every single one. The Thompson pitch became more than a project. It was my declaration of independence. When the day arrived, I walked into the conference room with a calm that surprised even myself. My presentation wasn't just good, it was revolutionary. We weren't just proposing a marketing campaign, we were offering a complete brand transformation that would disrupt the entire industry. The room fell silent. Then, applause. Robert, our senior partner, approached me after the meeting. "I've never seen anything like this," he said, genuine admiration in his voice. "This isn't just a win. This is a game changer." But professional success was only part of my plan. I began strategically sharing my achievements, not through direct bragging, but through carefully curated professional networks, LinkedIn updates, industry forum contributions, subtle mentions in professional circles where my family moved. I knew my parents were connected to many of these networks. Their social circle, primarily composed of upper-middle-class professionals who valued status and achievement, would be my unintentional messenger. My mother had always loved hosting dinner parties, showcasing her children's achievements. This time, I'd give her something truly spectacular to discuss. Meanwhile, I continued building. Each connection, each project became a brick in the wall of my revenge. Not a destructive wall, but a fortress of my own making. A testament to what I could achieve when I stopped waiting for recognition and started demanding it. Maria watched me with a mixture of admiration and concern. "Are you sure this is what you want?" she asked one evening. I looked up, a smile playing on my lips. This is exactly what I want. The Thompson account victory was just the beginning. I knew I needed something more, a public validation that would force my family to recognize my worth. An opportunity presented itself through an unexpected channel. The National Marketing Innovators Conference was approaching, an event my parents' social circle religiously followed. Winning would be more than a professional achievement, it would be a statement. I worked with Maria to craft a presentation that was part marketing strategy, part performance art. Every slide was a carefully constructed narrative of innovation, risk-taking, and breakthrough thinking. We analyzed market trends, developed predictive models, and created a framework that challenged everything the industry thought it knew. 2 weeks before the conference, my mother called. "Your sister Emma is struggling with her study abroad program," she said, her tone seeking sympathy. "We're thinking of sending her additional money." I listened, my grip tightening on my phone. The familiar pattern. Emma's needs always trumping mine, our parents always ready to rescue her. "That sounds difficult," I responded, my voice neutral. Inside, I was calculating. The conference arrived. I stood on the stage, aware of every eye in the room. Professionals from across the country, industry leaders, potential clients, and, unbeknownst to them, my unwitting family audience. My presentation was unlike anything they'd seen. I broke down complex marketing challenges with a clarity that was both intellectual and intuitive. When I finished, the room erupted in applause, not polite clapping, but genuine, thunderous recognition. Then came the awards. When they called my name for the Emerging Marketing Strategist of the Year, the silence was electric. I walked to the stage, my movements deliberate, my smile controlled. As I accepted the award, I scanned the room. I knew word would travel fast. The aftermath was immediate. My phone exploded with messages, professional congratulations, interview requests, potential collaboration offers. But the messages that mattered most were yet to come. First, a text from my father. Brief, stunned, congratulations. Then, a call from my mother. Her voice was different, no longer dismissive, but uncertain. "We saw your award," she said. The unspoken words hung between us. We didn't know. Emma's reaction was more complex. A tentative message arrived later that evening. "Can we talk?" But talking wasn't part of my plan. Not yet. Maria watched me process these communications. "You're not done, are you?" she asked. I smiled. The professional victory was just the first layer. The real transformation was still unfolding. My revenge wasn't about humiliation. It was about reconstruction. About proving that the child they had consistently overlooked had not just survived, but was now thriving beyond their wildest imagination. The game was far from over. And I was just getting started. The invitation arrived 3 months after my award, an exclusive feature in Innovative Marketers magazine. A full spread detailing my breakthrough strategies, my journey, my vision. But this was more than just a professional profile. This was my ultimate weapon. I knew exactly what I was doing. The magazine hit newsstands on a Wednesday. By Thursday morning, my phone was buzzing with a frequency that suggested something monumental was happening. My parents requested a family dinner. Not a casual suggestion, but a definitive summons. The restaurant they chose was telling. Eminence, the most expensive venue in our city's financial district. A place where reputation and status were currency. They were setting the stage for a confrontation. I dressed carefully. Each piece of clothing was a statement. Tailored suit from a boutique they'd once deemed too expensive for me. Shoes that whispered success without screaming it. Maria helped me prepare, her eyes a mix of concern and excitement. "Remember," she said, "this isn't about destruction. This is about transformation." When I arrived, my family was already seated. Emma looked uncomfortable. My mother's perfectly maintained composure had developed a subtle crack. My father's hands were clasped tightly around his water glass. "We need to talk," my mother began, her voice attempting its usual control. I laid the magazine on the table. The headline blazed, "Alex Rodriguez, the marketing maverick redefining industry standards." Silence descended. My father broke first. "We had no idea," he said, his voice a mixture of pride and something else. Shame, perhaps. "The Thompson account. The National Award. This feature ... Did you read it?" I asked, my voice calm. "The part about how I funded my entire strategy through personal savings and strategic networking?" Emma shifted uncomfortably. I could see the realization dawning. This wasn't just about professional success. This was about every moment they'd chosen her over me, every resource they'd redirected, every opportunity they'd facilitated for her, while leaving me to construct my path alone. "Your birthday money," my mother started, then stopped. The words hung between us, a testament to years of unconscious favoritism. I didn't need to respond. The magazine did it for me. The article wasn't just a professional profile, it was a detailed excavation of my journey, how I'd transformed every obstacle into an opportunity, how being consistently overlooked had become my greatest professional advantage. "I don't want an apology," I said finally. "I want recognition. Not just of my achievements, but of my journey." My father's hands were trembling slightly. My mother's perfectly applied makeup seemed suddenly fragile. Emma wouldn't meet my eyes. This wasn't revenge in the traditional sense. This was accountability. This was forcing them to see me, truly see me, perhaps, for the first time. "I'm not asking for your approval," I continued. "I'm telling you who I am." The restaurant around us seemed to hold its breath. Years of family dynamics were being rewritten in this moment. Not with anger, not with hatred, but with a cold, precise clarity that left no room for argument. I was no longer the background character in my own story. The weeks following the restaurant confrontation were a study in transformation. My family's dynamics had irrevocably changed, but not in the way I initially imagined. Emma was the first to reach out genuinely. Her call came late one evening, her voice stripped of its usual performative softness. "I read the entire article," she said. "I never realized how much you'd been overlooking." It wasn't an apology, but it was acknowledgement. Something far more valuable. My parents' approach was more complex. They didn't attempt to bridge the gap with grand gestures or emotional speeches. Instead, they began to listen. Really listen. Maria watched this unfold with a professional's detached interest. "Revenge is a dish best served cold," she remarked one morning. "But you've served it with such precision, it's almost surgical." The Thompson account had become legendary in marketing circles. My strategy wasn't just successful, it was revolutionary. Other firms began studying our approach, requesting consultations, inviting me to speak at conferences. I realized then that true revenge wasn't about destroying my family. It was about destroying the narrative they'd constructed about me. My mother began sharing my achievements in her social circles, not as a performative act, but with genuine pride. My father started asking my opinion on professional matters, treating me as a peer rather than a perpetual work in progress. Emma's study abroad program took an unexpected turn. Inspired by my approach, she began developing her own professional identity. No longer content to be the perpetual favorite, she started carving her own path. The birthday money, that initial wound, became a distant memory. I'd transformed that moment of betrayal into a catalyst for unprecedented growth. During a family gathering months later, the dynamics were unrecognizable. Conversations were balanced, achievements were celebrated equally. The invisible scale that had always tipped in Emma's favor had been recalibrated. "I'm proud of you," my father said one evening. The words were simple, unadorned, genuine. I thought about the journey, about Maria's strategic guidance, about the countless nights of hard work, about transforming pain into purpose. Revenge, I'd learned, wasn't about destruction. It was about reconstruction, about building something so magnificent that your previous limitations became irrelevant. My phone buzzed. Another international speaking invitation, another opportunity to redefine success on my terms. Maria was right. I wasn't done. Not even close. The story of Alex Rodriguez was still being written. And this time, I was holding the pen. As I looked out my office window, watching the city pulse with potential, I realized something profound. The most powerful revenge isn't administered. It's lived.